Welcome back to the Think Bigger Real Estate Show. I'm your host, Justin Stoddard, and I am so excited today to introduce to you somebody who was recently introduced to me, who's just created a magnificent legacy in real estate. And she's the kind of person that is giving back to the community, and I'm privileged and honored to have her here sharing with the Think Bigger Real Estate audience today. So I want to start by welcoming Kendra Cook to the show. Kendra, welcome. Thank you for coming on today.
Thank you so much, Justin. I'm very excited to be here.
Thank you. So a little background on Kendra. Kendra has been serving annually over 100 families on a consistent basis while working, this is the kicker, while working less than 40 hours. I'm so excited to dig into that because that's not what most people experience or think is a reality if you're serving that many families. In addition to that, Kendra also serves as senior leadership within the core training for real estate agents. So again, not only is she producing at a very high level, but she's giving back and serving and coaching and training at a very high level. So again, thank you for being here, Kendra. I know some of the questions that are probably in the minds of people is number one, where do your leads come from, right? Like to serve over 100 families a year, there's got to be some sort of online lead generation mechanism. True or false?
False.
False.
No generated leads from the internet. 100% referral-based business.
Wow. And over 100 families, and that's coming by referral.
That's right. And so what you really should try to achieve in your career is to build a relationship-based business. So building relationships with people and casting a deeper net versus a wider net. So what I figured out is if I would work with people who knew, like, and trust me from the get-go, then they respected my boundaries, they respected my family time, they respected me. And so there wasn't that disconnect and you should show me houses 24/7 and you should always be on call. And so I got to work with people who, when they were referred to me, they're like, hey, so-and-so said you're the best, I should work with you. So it goes from a relationship of selling them to a relationship of building deeper relationships, which warrant continued referrals.
I love what you said, Kendra. I want to go into this a little bit more and expound upon your analogy here of instead of a wider net, a deeper net, which I'm not a deep sea fisherman, but I know well enough that these big fishing boats in Alaska, they don't just have nets on the surface, but they have nets that go down very deep because that's where the better fish are at.
That's right. You want to chase the bigger fish, right? So you want to have business partner relationships, you want to have VIP relationships, and then you want to have your database relationships. And so when we talk about going deeper, it's not a surface relationship. So the people that are in my business referral network or in my VIP group, I know, their families, their children, their hobbies, their charities. I want to be in the flow with them, if you will. So, if we're going to a charity event and I know somebody's very passionate about that charity event and they're a business partner, referral partner, whatever, I want to bring them with us. So we connect on a deeper level. And I think that, real estate has become such a transactional business for the most part because leads come in from the internet. We don't really have a relationship. We have a transaction, we get the money and we run to the bank and it's over. And it was always really shocking to me that we tell everyone we want to be your realtor for life, yet when the transaction's over, we're done. And so I just found that as a really crazy concept. So I felt like, if I stayed in relationship with these people and we connected on a common bond, whether it was community involvement or I'm a runner, you might see the medals back there. I love to run. I love to meet people in the community that run. I love to run for charity. So if I can bond on a connection with the charity or a hobby or a community involvement, that relationship is just really consummated on a relationship versus a transaction, if you will.
I love that. So valuable to the real estate community to hear what you're sharing right now. You segmented your database into 3 different parts. Would you go over that again?
Yes. So the general database is, we like between 400 people in our general database. And these are people who have bought and sold with us, maybe my kids' families, their friends and family, just so they're contacts, if you will. And I'm in a relationship with them, but maybe not deep relationships. So those people may refer you once every 3 to 5 years. Okay, so if you have 400 people, let's say you get 15 to 20% of those that refer every single year. I mean, it generates some leads for you, but not a plethora of leads. And then we go to the business partnerships that we have. And those are people who can refer you a couple times a year. that have the opportunity, whether they're a financial planner or, a banker, private banker, something like that. And then my VIPs are really people that I'm really, really, really in the flow with, meaning that they might refer me 4 to 8 times a year. So that could be a builder, that could be a developer, that could be somebody that you really connect with on all levels of life, and they're continuously filling you with referrals. So I think you really have 3 buckets, if you will. I know when I first got in real estate, my bucket was just chase everybody. And there's only so many hours in the day, and I want better relationships and deeper relationships versus just throwing myself out there for everybody. So those are my 3 buckets, if you will. VIPs really, really in the trenches, multiple, like heavy hitter lead gen for me. The business referral partners, 3 to 5 per person per year. And then your database is going to turn over some general leads for you every single year.
And that group, those 3 groups right there are responsible for helping you serve over 100 families a year.
That's it. That's it. I don't buy any leads from anyone, never have. I won't say never have. We tried it with a partnership with a lender one time. They're like, we're going to generate all these leads. And it was the most miserable 30 days of my life for me and my team. And I just, at that point, said, that's not my business model.
Let's talk about that a little bit. It's probably a perfect segue into the next topic we wanted to cover, which is creating boundaries. Yeah. I would imagine that that those 30 days were miserable is because those boundaries that you had set up so well started to disappear. True?
Yes. And that usually happens when you come from a fear or a scarcity mindset, if you will, like, where's my next deal going to come from? Where's my next lead going to come from? And so every time the phone rings, you jump, right? Or every time somebody wants to see a house, even if it's 7:30 at night when you're in the middle of dinner with a family member, whatever, friend, you got to jump and go. And those boundaries go out the window. And when you get referral business referred into you, it's usually, hey, you sold my neighbor's house, took great care of them. They said you're involved in the community, blah, blah, blah. And when I sit down and do my listing presentation and say, these are our work hours, 8:30 to 5, we work by appointment only on Saturday, we're closed on Sunday, people accept that. Just set the expectation and tell them what it looks like, and then just adhere to it. But what happens is maybe business slows down a little bit and we start letting our guard down, and somebody texts you at 7 o'clock at night and you text them back. You just gave them permission to text you at 7 o'clock for the rest of the relationship. And when you start breaking down those boundaries, you start losing time with your family, resenting the business. It's not as fun. So you definitely have to set those boundaries up front, lay out the expectations, and then go from there.
And because because you've come referred, the fact that you have business hours, people are willing to accept that. Whereas if it were a lead coming in from some online lead source, you're competing against people that will drop everything and go. And so to that audience saying my hours are 8:30 to 5, you're gonna get slaughtered, right? Whereas when you've come referred, the person referring you is saying, hey, this person is the best. They're worth waiting for. And people see you more as a professional, right? As opposed to a salesperson who they can run ragged, but it's a professional worth waiting for.
Right. Well, and there's not that loyalty. Listen, if I refer you to, the person who cuts my hair, I'm loyal to that person who cuts my hair. So if I'm going to refer you to them, I'm going to expect you to also be loyal to them. Right. And so if you take the appointment, there's that commonality, if you will, that, hey, if so-and-so trusted him, then I trust him. And so I'm not having to cut my commission or work after hours, and I'm not going to say I've never worked till 7 o'clock at night. Don't get me, I did it all wrong. I had to fix it. So, I'm not saying I've always had it perfect, but I think when you start working with people that refer you, they set the expectation for you. Yeah. Like you said, they're worth the wait. She doesn't work on Sundays, but boy, Monday through Friday, she'll give you 110% or whatever. I think when you come highly referred, it's a whole different ballgame.
Wow. You really do get to have not just the business you want, but the life you want too.
Right.
So powerful. Let's talk. I know you're also passionate about eliminating the inconsistencies. I mean, we see it in our business, right? In the title and escrow industry, we have now is springtime, and we know that, there are commission checks going out. There was a time where there weren't many going out. Some agents were still getting paid, many were not. Talk to us about how you help agents eliminate those inconsistencies.
Well, a lot of it is working a time block schedule. So tips like having a start time, having a go home time, having a daily team meeting, like basically who's on first. But the most valuable thing that we teach is consistent power hour. So prospecting consistently. And realtors are notorious for, hey, oh my gosh, we're so busy right now. We'll, put that power hour or that prospecting time on the back burner, and we won't worry about that right now because we have all this business. And then we get all this business closed, and we look over there and we're like, oh my gosh, we have nothing in the pipeline. So then we have to start prospecting. But what you're doing today is not going to warrant a paycheck for 30, 45, or 60 days down the road. So when you stop prospecting for 30 days to close what's in front of you, the next 30, 45, 60 days is going to be scarce. So we have that, oh my gosh, my best month ever. Oh my gosh, I'm starving to death. Oh my gosh, I got the plaque on the wall. Oh my gosh, can somebody loan me lunch money, right? And that sounds crazy, but that's real estate a lot because we have so much inconsistency. So, one of the things that I teach is you cannot remove your power hour off your time block schedule. You have to have a power hour every day. And most people get 1 hour and then they start thinking, oh my gosh, this is really fun. And then they go to 2 and to 3 and to 4. It gets easier. But from the beginning agent to the top agent, at least 1 hour a day, you have to put that time into building relationships, looking for leads, planting seeds, cultivating. So you always have that steady lead gen coming in, so you don't have those inconsistencies in your income, if you will.
Yeah. Boy, that's I think one of the biggest challenges for real estate agents to face, and I think a lot of them have accepted it as this is just the way the business is. And what I'm hearing you say is it doesn't have to be that way. I had spoken with one of my favorite clients here recently, and things are hopping for her. And I said, what created such good results? And she said, we were really consistent with our lead generation, 60 to 90 days ago, and we're seeing it now. I said, well, what's the biggest thing on your plate right now? Like, what are you facing where I might be able to be of help? Like, what's on your mind? And she said, honestly, it's just keeping the mindset to keep my foot on the pedal when it comes to lead generation, because I know that what I did 90 days ago isn't going to last forever. And I've got to be continuing to do it in order to continue to see those results. And that was the biggest thing she was having to say, don't let up, don't let up, don't let up, don't let up, right. Because I know what happens if I do.
Right. Yeah. And it happens in every industry. Retail has the booms and the lows, and a lot of it is the inconsistency in their marketing, because all of us that do it, I think it's a mindset of, hey, I'm super busy right now. Why am I going to spend the money to do my mailers, or why am I going to pay for advertising? And, they had the Christmas boom, and then the lull, and then the Valentine's boom, and then the lull, and then the Mother's Day. And we do the same thing in real estate, right? Nobody buys a house around Christmas, or we say that in our mind, but December is one of the biggest relocation months in the year. And so if you psych yourself up in October saying, well, I'm not going to prospect from now till the first of the year because nobody's moving anyway, you're missing a piece of the pie. You have to prospect every single day of every single month. That's what we do. That's sales. And so I think that when I hear all about inconsistencies, I'm like, I can put that one tweak in your business, and it'll take a little time to get some consistency going. But once you get it, don't take your foot off the gas. Don't.
I love that. So much value, Kendra. I want to thank you for taking time to come and pour into the Think Bigger real estate audience. I understand. I mean, the way that I learned about you was a flyer came across my desk that you're actually coming to Portland. I was like, she sounds like the real deal. Talk to us briefly for those that are within driving distance of Portland. Where can they find you and get more of this information? You've just kind of like started to scratch an itch for a lot of people, but I know that you're going to spend from what I understand, a couple hours going into more depth on this. How do people come find you?
Well, I am coming to town with Miss Tammy Wittren. She is a Guild Mortgage loan rep there in Portland, and she and I work together at the core training. And so she asked me to come out and speak for her referral partners. And anybody who's interested in finding out more about what realtors should be doing, and if they're interested in coaching. So I'm going to do a talk on the 2nd of April with Tammy. We're going to be at the Doubletree by the Hilton, Hotel Portland, over there on Northeast Multnomah, I think it is, Multnomah, there you go, street in Portland. And so that's going to be at 2 o'clock on the 2nd. So I'm going to be hanging out with Tammy, asking questions, doing a presentation. Would love for anybody to come over and hang out with us. Well,
I've blocked out my calendar. I'm looking forward to meeting you in person. And it's going to be fantastic. I'm sure I'll be taking all kinds of notes. So thank you again so much, Kendra. What a pleasure to have a chance to meet you and talk with you. And thank you for everything that you've shared. This has been absolutely wonderful.
Thanks for hosting. I appreciate it, Justin. Look forward to seeing you in a couple days.
Yes, sooner than not. Thank you again. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in.